Hey Flosstube, thank you so much for tuning in today. I am so excited. I have so many things to tell you. First off, it is storming here. So if you hear some thunder or see some lightning, I picked a great time to do a Flosstube video, but I'm crunched for time today. So I wanted to get on here and tell you guys a couple things. Right off the bat, I want to do a mid-year WIP parade because I've seen a lot of people doing that, and I thought that that would be a really good accountability checkpoint for me and hopefully give you guys something to watch while you're stitching and working on your WIPs. Second of all, I want to tell you real quick, and I'll give you more details later, but I am now on Whatnot. So if you don't know what Whatnot is, it is an app on your phone or your iPad, and it is live auctions, and it is so addicting and so much fun. And I am gonna have my first show this Sunday. Today is Friday, July 17th, so it will be on Sunday, July 19th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm in Florida. So Florida time, 8:30 p.m. So if you're not doing anything, come check it out. If you've never been on Whatnot, be warned. There is everything. It is like a giant flea market of anything and everything you can imagine. New stuff, old stuff, handmade stuff. I mean, if you can think it, it's there. Some prices are steals and some people are out of their minds for the prices that they charge. But anyway, I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end. Today I want to go over what I've been doing and what I've gotten done. So the last time I talked to you guys, I was finishing up a lot of things for my niece for her baby shower. That was her first baby. She's due next month, and so that baby shower has come and gone. I went to New Jersey for it. She loved everything that I made for her, and I made Maggie May, the animal cracker, and I put the baby's name down at the bottom of her dress, and that was her favorite item. So I said, well, you know, there are more, and I showed her the other animal crackers. So now I have a bunch of animal crackers that I will be cross-stitching in the very near future because she loves everything handmade. So I will be making a lot more of those for her. So let me get started and show you what I've been working on, because since I'm now done with all of her big things, I've actually had time to work on some of my stuff, although I enjoyed so much working on all of her stuff. I got this WIP finished. This is one of the year of celebrations by Hands On Design. I had August was the one that I had stitched and on yellow and couldn't find it, and found out that it was at Christine's house, and she's tried to, you know, claim it as her own, but whatever. Go ahead, Christine, just put it up, decorate, enjoy it, because I'm not stitching another one. So even though she likes the blue better than the yellow. So I finally got that done. That was a quick little stitch, and I did a final finish on it today so that I could show you guys. And then I just have a magnet on the back, and there's a tin bucket that I have that I put it on, and then I put all of them inside of that bucket. It is lightning like crazy out my window, like insane lightning right now. Last night, one of the dogs got me up at 2:30 in the morning, and I went outside, and it was like an electrical storm. There was no thunder, there was no rain, it wasn't sharp lightning, but the whole sky just kept lighting and lighting and lighting. But this is the dangerous lightning right now. I'm in Tampa, which is the lightning capital of the US. So all my machines are unplugged, and all of the animals are inside. Hopefully the chickens are in their coop, because that is some crazy lightning going on out there right now. So I figured this was a good time to do a video since I can't have any of my machines on. I don't mess around. I don't keep my machines on when it's lightning out or when it's storming. And this looked like it was a pretty decent sized cell, so it may be here for the whole video, but hopefully you don't hear the thunder unless you like it. Then I hope you do hear the thunder, but I wish you could see this lightning. It's crazy. Anyhow, I I don't know what happened. I think I told you guys, like, all of a sudden I just went on like this buying spree and subscription spree, and I don't know. So Annabelle's, I started watching her on YouTube, and so I had ordered this little kit from her in her Etsy shop, and it was really easy. I just did it on some leftover Aida that I had because I really want to try to use that Aida up, and I say that, but then when I stitch on 14 count Aida, I'm like, this is so enjoyable. I did this in the car, and there's no way that I could stitch on like 32 count or anything, or 40 count in the car, but the 14 count, I cranked this thing out on the way to church, like 2 Sundays in a row. I made this, so I'm really enjoying using up my 14 count Aida, but I don't know if I would say that I would never buy it again, because I really am enjoying how quickly I can get things done. But the little kit came with everything that you see except for the cloth. So it came with the threads, but I think the jar was supposed to be white and then the star was supposed to be blue, but I reversed them because I couldn't see it on this fabric. So, and I made these flowers a lighter blue. They were supposed to be the darker blue, I think. I reversed a couple of the flowers, the colors, and I'm pretty sure I made that one a lighter one, but it was supposed to be a darker one. But super, super easy, really fast pattern, and another decoration for patriotic, because we haven't seen enough of that this year, right? Another fully finished that I have is Primrose Cottage Sweet Land of Liberty. This one was on some leftover fabric. I think this is a 32 count. I bought that years and years and years ago, and I feel like I'm still using a leftover piece, and I always think it's the last one, and I still always seem to have a little bit more left. But it was a cute little pillow. It is hard to see where it says sweet right there. So confession time, when I stitched this pillow up this morning, I chopped the whole side off. There was supposed to be a couple inches right here, and then the rickrack, and I sewed it together, and it was fine. And when I trimmed it, I don't know what I was thinking, but I just cut it and didn't think anything. And when I went to turn it right side out, I went, whoa, where'd the edge go? So when it's sitting in the bowl, it's not so bad. So yeah, but this was a quick little enjoyable one too. I think I started this one on our cruise in April, but I just finished it up. I also did another Primrose, which was Little Red Barn, and this one was another really quick little stitch. And this one came also, oh, you know what this one was? This one was the Sip and Stitch that they did. They did a little kit. I don't know if it's still available or not. I got the email and I like instantly bought it because I was on that kick of like buying all these, you know, exclusives and subscriptions, and that was during that. And so I clicked, bought, and then they shipped it to me, and it was a surprise. And there was like a needle minder and a couple patterns and stuff, and you'll see the other patterns because they're in my WIP pile. But super cute little pattern, and it came with the cloth to finish it, and I think it came with the rickrack too. So when I was up in New Jersey, my mom really likes to decorate in primitive, and so she gave me a bunch of stuff she didn't want to bring home, and so I brought home this dough bowl, and it's heavy. I had to put it in my carry-on, but I had a couple other ones too that she gave me, and they were not as heavy. But I brought an extra suitcase because I knew I'd be coming home with a lot of stuff. But really, I went up with a suitcase filled with stuff from my niece, so I ended up having 2 empty suitcases to come home with. But I could just put these in here. I know, I closed it up with white thread because my son was talking to me. He dropped by and we got to talking, and I wasn't paying attention, and I was like, I gotta close this hole up so I could do the Flosstube video. And then lo and behold, it was white. And I said, it doesn't matter because when it's in here, you probably heard that one. That was a loud crack of thunder. When it's in here, you're not gonna see it. So when I put some other little things in there, so that wasn't a big deal. And I also got, but it's not fully finished, but I also got this done, which is the calendar crates by Stitching with the Housewives. and I had this one done a long time ago, and then this one was, I don't know, I had maybe like just a little bit of the house done, and I think one of the flowers. So I finished the house and the other flowers and the other stems and stuff, and it really is cute. I do like it. I started doing a lot of their patterns when I got back into cross stitch, and I think a lot of us, when we were starting back, you know, like right before COVID, we were starting out with these, and I'm so grateful that they really got me back into cross stitch because it was just so different than everything that was around before. But I think that I have I've done a lot of their pieces, and so I need to step away from doing things on black right now. So I'm gonna lay off of those for a while, even though I have a couple in my WIP pile. So that's it for my finishes. You see my quilt behind me? I got that on Whatnot. Isn't it cool? But it has a lot of like big holes in it and stuff. See, there's like a giant hole there. So I'm gonna cut it apart. They're called cutter quilts. And because it, you know, really isn't usable as a quilt anymore, but instead of just tossing it, you cut it apart and you make it into something else. So I might make some project bags out of it, but I think I'm going to make some tote bags and some Bible bags, and we'll see what else it says to me when I start cutting it apart. You hate to cut it apart, but you can't use it as a quilt anymore, so it's still saving it. It really is. And I hope that one day my quilts, when they get to this point, somebody cuts it apart and makes it into something else, because I think that's pretty cool. So let's get into my mid-year WIP check. I have abandoned some projects for the first time in my life when it comes to cross stitch. I have decided if it's not bringing me joy, I'm done with it. If it no longer fits my taste, I'm done with it. And I'm really, really happy about that. I really feel like there's some weight off my shoulders. I'm not dreading it. I just want to enjoy the things that I'm stitching on. I have so many things kitted up that I want to start, so why am I torturing myself to finish something? It's kind of like a book, you know, when you get to the middle of it and you're like, I don't know how I feel about this. Can you abandon a book, or are you somebody that has to finish it? So I was always one that I still had to finish it. I've invested this much time in it, but now I'm kind of the mindset of life is short. I only have so much time. I'm gonna spend it doing something that I enjoy. So here we are. That's where we are with this. This is one that I'm gonna put in the car because I can work on this in the car because it is 14 count Aida, and I was surprised. I actually worked on it a little bit the other day. I was actually surprised that I could do it in black. Now I'm sure on a day like today I couldn't do it in the car on black because it's black outside right now with the storms, but on a sunny day I could totally do it in the car. And this was one of the first, not the first, but one of the first cross stitches that I bought when I got back into cross stitch. And it was a club, and this is when Priscilla was from Stitching with the Housewives was working with hands-on design, and she was designing the chalk paintings that Priscilla did. So it was just fun to see, you know, that see her start and then move into her own company and stuff. That was really fun. So I only have this much done. And by the way, I started stitching using these Nerge hoops. I've always stitched in hand, but I started that lightning is wild. I started stitching at a frame when I was doing Lady of the Flag, and I kind of got like the rhythm of it and I liked it, but I'm finding that I do slow down a little bit, but I like the way that my stitches look, especially white stitches, when I use a hoop. So I am still stitching in hand for some pieces, but I find myself grabbing a hoop. I bought a bunch of them, so I find myself grabbing a hoop for quite a few of them. So that's all that I have done so far, but this will be a car project, so I'm in no hurry, and I actually have all of them in here. I think there were 4. I did complete 1. So I have the snowman, and I think there's Easter bunnies in here. Oh, okay, no, there are more than 4, because here's a patriotic one. And I know there are bunnies. Yeah, here are the bunnies. And I think the one that I did, that I had completed, were sunflowers. But I have all of these in the same bag. That will go in the car. My husband just got a new truck. That's why I have it inside. The transmission went in his truck at 36,000 miles. Thank goodness it was still under warranty. But while we were there at the dealership, he ended up just buying a new truck because we don't want to really have a truck with a replaced transmission at 36,000 miles. So we had 10 payments left on it too. It's always a good feeling, right? Okay, so next, I did not start this one, but it is in my WIP pile because it was on my list for this month, and it's the Prairie Schoolers Santas, and I've talked about it before. Sorry, I don't have the actual pattern. I have the actual pattern. I don't have the picture, but it's the 2026 Santa, and I haven't done them, but I have all of them, and I really want to make a Prairie Schooler tree, Christmas tree. So I want to start doing like 1 a month. But let me throw this out there at you. I went to a retreat last weekend by finally a farm girl. I don't know if it was like her actual retreat or she was there. Like she was there. She had a booth. She spoke. And I went there solo. My friend Lori was supposed to go, but she had something come up and she wasn't able to go. So I went solo, and you know, I ended up getting there late, and there was traffic. That we had a storm the night before. There were a lot of trees down. Anyhow, I ended up you know, just sitting at the end of a table and speaking to one lady for a couple hours, and then I left. I went over to finally a farm girl's store in Leesburg, Florida. So it's a little bit of a hike for me from Tampa. It was close to 2 hours with traffic and the storms and whatever else. So while I was there, she had some of the Prairie Schoolers stitched, and they were huge. They were like this big, and she had 3 of them together on one piece. And since she wasn't in the store, I couldn't ask her because she was at the retreat. So I had messaged her on Facebook, and I said, hey, I was at the shop, like, what did you stitch them on? It was up above a doorway, so I couldn't get like really close and examine it. But she said she was pretty sure that she had stitched it on 10 count with 3 strands of floss. So now my wheels are turning because it looked really, really cool. And I'm thinking that, number 1, those would be really fast, and that would be a car project too. But number 2, I loved how she had 3 of them lined up together. So I'm thinking maybe instead of having a Prairie Schooler Santa tree, that I can start like lining them up like that. So my wheels are turning for sure. But I do want to get started on them. So this was another one. I didn't start this one yet, but it's in my WIP pile because it's on my list this month to start. And it's Christmas Roads by Needle and Moss. And why on earth is her name slipping my mind right now? She is a new floss tuber. She's done a couple floss tubes, and she was doing the stitch along for that one, and I thought that it was really cute. I'm gonna look right now and try to find her. She's a southern gal. She has a little southern twang. She's in Colorado, but she is just the cutest thing. The Blooming Stitcher, because her last name is Bloom. So the Blooming Stitcher, and so she's doing that stitch along, and I thought it was really cute, and I did want to stitch some Christmas in July. So I went ahead and bought it. I didn't start it yet, but it's one of those stitch alongs that has no rules, no boundaries, no nothing. You stitch what you want when you want, and so so that's fun. So that is in my WIP pile. I hope to put a couple stitches in it this month for sure. I'm wondering how loud, like, can you actually hear the thunder? I wonder how loud it is. I hope it's not too loud if you have headphones in. My next one, this one I definitely want to finish before Christmas, and I've been saying that for a couple years, but this is my Christmas list. And this one I started a few years ago because, where on earth is it? The reason that I started it was I saw Priscilla had changed the colors. This is before she was so busy stitching her own stuff. She was still stitching other people's. But it's by Silver Creek Sampler, and she did a color conversion on it, and I really liked hers, but it's on her blog. So I didn't write them down. I just bought the Fancy Floss pack that had her colors at that time. They really want to get it done. I enjoy stitching on it. It is a linen. I think it's a 32 count linen, and I'm using the Fancy Floss, the Classic Colorworks on it. But it is really, really sweet. The only thing that makes me a little hesitant with pieces like this is, you know, they're so long that I'm sure they're going to be a custom frame. And as soon as you say framing, it's expensive. And then when you say custom framing, you know, it's even more expensive. So sometimes I hesitate on the long pieces like that because I highly doubt I'm going to find a standard frame that I can just frame it myself. Next up is, this is the only thing that I didn't get finished for my niece. I had started this hands-on design night light, and she doesn't know that I started it, but I started it on some leftover Aida, and that's as far as I got. But it's no big deal that I don't have it done yet. This is one, maybe I can do this one in the car when one of my other pieces is finished, because it is on the 14 count Aida, and I dyed that myself. I don't know where I got that Aida from, but I had a little run of dyeing my own Aida back in the day, and that was a gigantic piece. I don't even know where it came from. It was a huge piece of Aida, and so I cut it apart and dyed it. Now this was the primrose that I was telling you, that little red barn that I did. This I can't show you because they didn't show a picture of the little red barn. They only showed, here actually I can, because the pattern is on the other side. So this is what they gave you with the sip and stitch. They called it Home Sweet Home Sip and Stitch 2026 release number 2. So with that we got the little red barn pattern. We got this Home Sweet Home pattern. We got this, the words, the Sweetly Sayings words, and we also got a needle minder, a really cute needle minder. We also got a coffee mug, so there's the needle minder. And we got the floss for it, and we got some floss biddies, which as you can see I used, right? I left them in the bag. I don't know, like sometimes I like these and sometimes I don't like wrapping on them. So anywho, I did not get all of them done. I only finished the little red barn, but then I started on the word one, and that was just the M for, oh no, I lied. I started on this one, which is the Sweetly Saying. And this was, I'm pretty sure that this was the free Friday one. If you join their email list, you get a free pattern on, I think, the second Friday of the month. And I'm pretty sure that's what this was. And I ended up just ordering the whole kit from them. So I got the floss and the cloth, and I think that's all that was in there. But yeah, so I started, this M is from that Freedom on there, and they're all in the same project folio. It's my B project folio. This is probably one of my favorite folios that I keep for myself. I always keep the folios that I can't sell because, you know, I did something wrong, or maybe the fabric, I just didn't feel like it was a fantastic quality after it was all done. But I don't remember why I didn't like this one to be sold, but I love it. I love it. So whatever mistake I made, I'm happy that I did, because I And a lot of these, like, you guys would never know that there was a mistake, but if I know that there's a mistake, I can't sell it to you. Like, just my conscience, I can't sell it to you. And that's a reason why I really like Whatnot, because when I do a show, I'll be able to say, hey, I have this, you know, I did X, Y, and Z, you know, or I'm not thrilled with whatever, so I'm going to sell it at a discount. Here, I want to point it out to you, and I can show you live, and then you can decide whether or not you want to bid on it. So I'm really, really excited about Whatnot. I'm gonna have a lot of patterns too, because I've got to destash my patterns. So I'm gonna be selling a ton of patterns. I have 50 in a pile for this Sunday night to you know, and I'm gonna start them out at half retail price, so 50% off retail. And then Whatnot calculates all of the shipping and stuff, so like it goes down. Like, you might pay like $4 on the first pattern, but then it's like 30 cents or something. And there's a way that somehow I could say, like, okay, $9 is the maximum that you'll pay for shipping, because I see it on other people's stuff. I just had to figure out how to do all that stuff. But anyhow, this is the winter chalkboard by Hands On Design, and this one I had talked about before. You could only get this one from a magazine. It says copyright 2020 Craftways Corporation, and it was like I think like a $5 download. I want to say it was from Hirschner's, maybe. But there was, I don't know, like this craze that happened with it years ago, and then Kathy Haberman ended up designing all of the other seasons, because all of a sudden somebody was stitching that, everybody wanted it, and then she designed the other seasons. So the other seasons you can get from Hands On Design, but this one you can't. You have to get it from that magazine. And this is all that I have started on it. I've talked about this one before. It's on 32 count basalt splash with white dots Laguna fabric, and I don't particularly like it. It's very hard to see, and those dots are like paint. So if you're going into that stitch, it's very hard to do that. So I might abandon this fabric, but restart the project, because I do like the project. And that is in, sorry, I don't think I've been showing you my folios. So that is in that folio. I'll just show you real quick. This was my niece's, the Firefly. This was the Christmas list. This bag, I actually have this bag available in my Etsy shop. I have quite a few of these that I made. This is Teresa Koget. And then I have some Lori Holt bags for the other projects. Okay, so going forward, I'll make sure that I show you the bags. This folio, I love this print. It's so fun. This is a Brenda Gervais, and when I was up in New Jersey for my niece's baby shower, my mom loves all my cross stitch and quilting, and she loves primitive decor, so I've always made her a lot of stuff. But I kept telling her, you should cross stitch, because she has the time. And so I sent her everything, and she just had a hard time getting started. So when I was there, I said, you know, we're gonna sit down and I'll teach you how to cross stitch. And so I said which one. I had sent her this pattern, and like I picked everything from Fat Quarter Shop and just had it mailed directly to her, or 1-2-3 Stitch, or maybe both, I don't know. But anyway, I had it sent directly to her, but she just couldn't get started by herself. So I said, well, pick one of these. So she ended up picking the little sunflower to start with. And then we learned real fast that we probably shouldn't have picked something that had white, because she was having a hard time with white. But my sister got a really precious picture that I didn't know that she got. She had sent it to me later, and it was me sitting next to my mom showing her how to cross stitch. And you know, it's just kind of like things come full circle, because I'm sure there were pictures of my, probably not, because they didn't take pictures the way back then that we do now, but you know, at some point I'm sure my mom was sitting teaching me something as a child, and here I am now teaching her something. So it was a very nice picture, but my mom had started on it, and I don't think she finished it yet, but you guys know that's little, so it took me no time to finish it, and she couldn't believe, she's like, I can't believe you finished that already. But I will do all the other ones too, and maybe if she doesn't end up sticking with the cross stitching, maybe I'll just surprise her and go ahead and stitch all these and send them up to her. Tomorrow's her birthday, and I already got her birthday present, so this will not be this year's birthday present, maybe Christmas. But yeah, so that was another new start that's now in my WIP pile. Some of these are like true WIPs. They've been around for quite a while, and some of them are, you know, I said I wasn't going to start anything new until these were done, and I still started something new. This one I started way back when also, and the poor pattern, this was before I knew that I should copy patterns as working patterns. Look at that. And this is why I stopped making vinyl front project bags also, because the vinyl sticks and takes all the finish off of some of the patterns depending on what kind of vinyl and depending on what kind of pattern, and so I stopped making them. But anyhow, this is Glendon Place, and I absolutely love her Halloween designs. Love, love, love them. I've seen a lot of them in person, the ones that she stitched, and they're just amazing. The pictures don't do it justice, as you guys know. That's as far as I've gotten on it, so not very far. Her patterns have a lot of back stitching. I don't mind back stitching, I just do it as I go along. I would like to, you know, keep working on this one. I am looking forward to getting a little bit more progress in there, but it's just not on my, it's not on the short list, let's say that. But this is a vinyl front, oh, sorry, the pattern's right there. Oh. This is a vinyl front bag that I used to make like that years ago, and I'm not doing that anymore. This one I showed you guys, I forgot to bring it out because I do have this one in a scroll frame, but I didn't get any further. I've only done a tiny bit of the tail there. That's a Nora Corbett, and I saw it in a shop and I fell in love with it, and I'm not a Nora Corbett stitcher, nothing against her. Like the fairies and things, they're beautiful, but they don't fit my decor, but I think that one will. I really, really liked it. So I will work on that one. I'm not abandoning that one. This next one, I don't know why it's still lingering around because it's not that big. This is from Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, 2017 fall issue. And this is, let me try to show you down here. They don't even have a real picture, but that's all that is. And this was from one of those magazine challenges that somebody was doing, another Flosstuber was doing, and I had picked this one because it fit the descriptions that we were supposed to pick, and I just have the frame, that's it. And I'll pick it up every now and then and put a couple stitches in, and that's it. But I'm doing, I think maybe my hesitancy with it is that I'm doing a one thread, and I don't usually do one thread, although I've done a lot recently with one thread, and I've enjoyed it, so I don't know. But I really don't have an excuse for this one because it's not even that big. This one is in my first folio that I made. I said one time I would do like a timeline of folios, and so this was my first folio that I made, and it's very similar to my permanent ones that I do now. This is the Quilted Scarecrow, or How to Build a Scarecrow? No, I think it's called this Quilted Scarecrow. I don't know what word I just invented. Scarecrow. And I've taken this one on a lot of cruises with me. It is easy to see, and I can stitch pretty fast. It's on Lugana. So I haven't been working on it at home very much, but I don't have another cruise scheduled until December. Although we're probably going to go away for a couple days coming up here pretty soon. My husband's taking a little vacation, so we're probably going to go away for a couple nights, so I might bring it. This one's the easiest one to bring because it has big sections that I can just fill in mindlessly. But this one always attracts attention. I don't know if it's just the cross stitching that attracts attention or this piece in particular, but people are always coming over and asking me what I'm working on. So that one will definitely get finished at some point. I didn't start these, so it's not even fair that it's in the WIP pile, but this was one that I was kind of thinking in my head that I could throw in the car, but I do have car projects now. And these are the Star Spangled Ornaments, and they are from Fat Quarter Shop. Now that we're past the 4th of July, I'm kind of like, I know it's the 250th anniversary, but I'm kind of like patriotic out at the moment, so I don't know if I'm going to end up working on these. I downloaded I did order the pattern. These are copies. I was thinking I printed them, but I'll just show you. There are a bunch of them. Can you see that? It says Yum, and it's a watermelon. And then I ordered the little pie tins to put them on, and they have them displayed on tier trays. I can't have nice things like that because my dogs will hit them and knock them over. So I don't know how I will display them, but like there's flip-flops. There's a bunch of them. I don't know if there's 13 or 16, but there are a bunch of them. So I will use those as quick projects when I need a break from bigger things. And that is in this project bag that I quilted on my long arm and then I made into a bag. So now we are on to my little small projects that I think I can just whip on out. This was I think it was Stitch Quarterly. Yep, it says it right on the bottom. This was a Stitch Quarterly, and I figured that I could just knock this one out real quick to get it out of my WIP pile. This is a good mindless project because it's just, straight lines for the most part, and I can knock that out pretty quickly when I put my mind to it. And I just have that in my little Lori Holt project bag, and the rest of these are small Lori Holt project bags. This is the Liberty Pennies by Hands On Design. Sorry, I don't have a picture in there. And you're not going to be able to tell from my stitching because I didn't get very much done. I don't know why there's not a picture. It's only the pattern. So I apologize for that. And that's just in my little bag. This one, I think I'm going to abandon this one. I attempted to, and then I was like, wait, just wait, give it one last shot. In a little Lori Holt project bag. This was a Fat Quarter Shop. I think it was a Stitch Quarterly. Feels Like Home. So when I was gonna abandon it, if you saw it in one of my other videos, I don't think I had any of the house done. I just had the bird. Now I kind of wish I didn't start on the house because I could have just taken the bird and maybe turned that into something. But I gave it another shot and I started working on the house. And I don't know. I don't like the colors. They don't really match my stuff. I'm stitching it in sulky. Like, there are just so many variables in it that it's none of them are fitting. So I like stitching with sulky, but I don't know. I think I'm going to end up abandoning it. I really do. Maybe I should give it away. Does anybody want to finish it? If you want to finish it, I'd be far more likely to give it away if I knew it wasn't going to be trashed. And then I have two more of the Country Cottage Needleworks cottages to finish. I have September and I have October to finish. And so I started working on October. I've done all the other ones. So these are also in sulky, so I do like stitching with sulky. But yeah, that's it for those. Those will get done because I have the other 10 done. The sun is coming out now. It's pretty funny. And let's see here. So next is another Stitching with the Housewives. This is Trucking Along January. And I had this one on my WIP Go board this year. And so I put a little bit of a dent in it. So I will finish this because I don't have that much further to go. But all of the other Trucking Alongs that I didn't finish, I did abandon. I unkitted them. I'm pretty sure I told you guys that in my last video. I unkitted them and I abandoned them. And maybe I'll come back to them at some point. I mean, I have the thread, I have the floss. You know, I can come back to them if I want to. But for now, they're out of my WIP pile. And that's I feel good about it because now I don't have this tremendous amount of piles. And then lastly, in my WIP pile is the Year of Celebrations, and this is October. So I don't know if you can see it down there. It's like a ghost with a spooky tree. And this one I'm doing on that yellow that my August was originally done with, that Christine just conveniently found at her house that I forgot. I obviously left it. She didn't take it out of my suitcase, but she conveniently just put it in her stash. Can you believe that? Do you guys have friends like that? Like, with friends like that, who needs enemies? I'm just playing. Kind of. No, I'm really just playing. They're good friends. I'm very, very blessed. I have very good friends. So that's it for my WIPs. That was a mid-year WIP check-in. I will show you real quick. I whipped these up this morning. Aren't these adorable? So they're little key fobs, you know, a wristlet. You can just put your car keys on there. If you have a wallet that you can strap. So I'm thinking about maybe attaching them to some project bags or making them separate so you can add them if you want to. But tell me what you think about that, because I'm kind of tossing that idea around to, you know, maybe hook your scissors on there, then you'll never lose them, right? Like you're going to stitch with that on your wrist. No, but I just thought they were fun, and they're so adorable, those strawberries. And I have some new project bags, so I'm giving you guys a sneak peek. So let's talk about whatnot. On Sunday, I have 50 cross-stitch patterns that I'm going to be going live. So you're going to have to, if you want to go to Whatnot, if you don't have a Whatnot account, I'm going to put a link down below, because you're going to get something if you use that link, and I'm going to get something if you use that link, and neither one of us is going to pay for the other one to get anything. So hit that link and join, and then what it's going to do is you're going to automatically follow me by using that link. So you'll know when I go live. You'll be able to go in and look at my profile and book my shows, because I can schedule my shows. So what will happen is Sunday night at 8:30, I'm going to go live. You're going to see me just like this. I will be in another room, but you're going to see me just like this, and I'm going to be live though. So you'll be able to type in the chat and say, hey, Danielle, do you have X, Y, and Z, or do you have, or hey, do you have another one of those, or do you have this pattern? And I could say, well, yeah, it's not in my pile here, but I have it in my files. Hang on one second and grab it. So you'll have some, you know, interaction instead of the comments here, and then I see it 3 weeks later and then comment back. It will be a live interaction back and forth, and my friends will be moderating, so they'll be able to answer questions for you too. But I'm going to start small on Sunday because this is my first time doing it. So I need to like iron out the kinks and figure out where all the buttons are and everything else. I've bought on there, but I haven't sold on there. So this will be new for me. So I have reserved these project bags for Sunday night on Whatnot. If they don't sell, I'll probably end up putting them in my Etsy shop. But if they do sell, they're going to sell on Whatnot. I really like the platform of Whatnot better than the platform of Etsy. So we're going to give it a try and see. Anyhow, this is a new fabric line. It's called A Cat Named Stitch. And there are a lot of cats on there. So I've got quite a few project bags that have cats. And I will tell you that I am listing these because I'm new to Whatnot. I am listing these significantly less than what they are in my Etsy shop, because I want you guys to come over. Like, if you come over there and you watch my live, I want you to get a bargain off of it, right? Like, because you're gonna go through the aches and pains with me. You're gonna see me fumble over things, and so you should be rewarded. And so these are significantly cheaper, but for now these are the ones that I will have in there. I actually have about 6 more from this line that will be on there. So I'm really hoping that you'll join me, and yeah, I hope to see you Sunday. So just use that link down below, and hopefully I'll see you there. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.